I adore the brother, but he got caught up in what that entire Hollywood business is why he amended his will. I have no idea what's going on with Omarosa. Michael effectively left the majority of his assets to girlfriend Omarosa, something his friends and relatives found difficult to understand. I couldn't believe you'd change your mind on women the next time you opened your mouth to order me to be quiet. Michael was somewhat susceptible to influence. On September 3, 2012, actor Michael Clarke Duncan, known for his work in The Green Mile and Armageddon, passed suddenly. A sequence of incidents occurred that would cast a shadow over his memory. From claims that his girlfriend was somehow involved in his death to Hollywood's part in the terrible tragedy, leaving behind a hole that was keenly felt by his loved ones. Now that it appears that Michael's family has disclosed all that caused the actor's untimely loss, what exactly did they divulge for starters? Michael's abrupt transition has been accompanied by more questions than answers. Early on in his career, Duncan worked various security jobs in the vast city of Los Angeles, while also attempting to break into the acting world by appearing in commercials. During this time, he was a bodyguard for celebrities in the entertainment industry, including Will Smith. Robert Lawrence Fox, Jamie the Notorious Big, and L. Cool J. Duncan's entanglement in the security business took an intriguing turn following the unfortunate demise of Big in 1997. His decision to distance himself from this line of work was shrouded in speculation. Fans questioned whether his exit was a result of witnessing something amiss within the industry's shadows, or if it was the overall atmosphere of anxiety that prompted his departure. This be another instance of Hollywood's darker side, casting a long, unsettling shadow. The progression of Duncan's journey within the entertainment realm was anything but conventional, commencing with minor roles that often confined him to the depiction of bouncers, such as in productions like Bulworth and A Night at the Roxbury. He slowly eked out a foothold. However, the trailblazing moment came with his role as Bear in the grand-scale, cinematic spectacle Armageddon. This marked a definitive turning point, thrusting Duncan into the spotlight. Yet it's important to question the cost of this trajectory. Was his ascent the outcome of his undying passion, or a calculated result of his compliance within Hollywood's demands? The document the relationship Duncan developed with fellow cast member Bruce Willis while filming Armageddon was crucial in determining how his path would unfold. Was Duncan's breakthrough performance as gentle giant John Coffey in Frank Darabont's The Green Mile, which was directed by Willis, the result of a true mentorship? Or was this an example of the complex web of relationships that Hollywood is known for? Duncan's subsequent success, which includes nominations for the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role and the Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, raises concerns about the real reasons behind his actions. Was a talented performer the recipient of these honors, or were they a part of a broader story that the business had scripted? However, Duncan's 2003 portrayal of Kingpin and Daredevil carries a different shade of complexity, as he assumed a character that traditionally embodied a different ethnicity. Duncan's foray into subsequent roles traversed action-packed spectacles and comedic ventures alike, cementing his presence across genres. The actor claimed that Duncan's metamorphosis required gaining a lot of weight, and that he claims Hollywood pressured him to do so in order to land the job. Michael once discussed this, saying, "I had to gain weight again. They wanted me to be a little bit thicker. The height wasn't a problem, but they wanted me to be more muscular. So I started doing my powerlifting regimen when I need to gain weight to build my muscles up. So I got to 335, almost 34. In addition to this, Michael had to do strenuous body workouts that probably left his body tired and stressed. I discovered evidence that Duncan's unhealthy eating was beginning to catch up with him. This change in how he looked and behaved strongly illustrates how the entertainment industry treats its stars. The weight predicament that surrounded Duncan had already emerged as a pressing concern, but Hollywood's decision to demand additional weight gain from him presented an imposing risk factor for the actor. It's common for actors to sacrifice a lot of their physical health. Did he do this because he genuinely liked performing, or was he doing it because it was what Hollywood expected? Considering how much Michael exercised, it is very likely that he had exercise-induced cardiomegaly, also known as athletic heart syndrome. Dr. Hunter also suggested that Michael may have been under so much physical stress from his acting jobs that his body organs were also being affected. In any case, after his tragic death, new rumors began to circulate, with fans suggesting that although Michael was stressed, there may have been some foul play leading up to his death. Michael's legacy was shrouded in controversy, with fingers pointed squarely at his fiancée Omarosa Manigault Newman. You see, the two were engaged in 2012 and were scheduled to marry in January of the following year. But that never happened because the actor transitioned in September of that year. In 2018, the acclaimed actor's family and close friends raised allegations that suggested foul play and manipulations surrounding his demise, insinuating a darker narrative would eventually prevail. The family's complaints were a result of their allegations that Omarosa had improperly influenced Duncan in his final days by planning a number of revisions to his will that were reportedly biased in her favor and excluded his blood relations. Susan Duncan Omarosa has come under fire from Michael's sister, who claims that she used her brother's vulnerability in his final hours to further her own agenda. Judy recalled her last encounters with her brother during Christmas in 2011, when she noticed a marked change from his usual demeanor. He seemed disoriented and distant, far from his normal self. He was also tired, which was odd because it was our first Christmas spending time as a family. Under one roof, this alteration in behavior increased Judy's suspicions that Duncan had been duped. She stated, "I think anyone can be duped at any time. I think there's always going to be someone trying to get something out of you. And I think that's what it was." In April 2013, TMZ reported that Judy Duncan was questioning whether the late actor's fiancé improperly influenced him into revising his will months before his death and leaving almost everything to she. When MCD was hospitalized after suffering a heart attack, Judy claims her suspicions about Omarosa grew, and she claims Omarosa was fixated on MCD's money while he was on life support. Omarosa has previously sold a number of MCD's personal belongings, including his director's chair from Green Mile in Washington. Judy claims that Omarosa sold the items without informing the family, and she became furious as a result. According to Judy Duncan, who spoke to the Daily Beast, Omarosa may have improperly pushed the actor to update his will, according to the TMZ Post. Judy said, "I believe anyone can be manipulated at any time. I believe there's always going to be someone trying to get something out of you. And I believe that's what it was because, as I said, the last time we saw him, he just wasn't right. There was something going on, and I know it. So for him to have left her everything, there was some manipulation there." Her charges, which were corroborated by many people who had seen the dynamics between Duncan and Omarosa, and suggested that his mental state had been used for financial benefit, were made all the more unsettling by the information about Duncan's physical and mental health. Do Duty claimed that Duncan struggled to maintain balance and had slurred speech during the alleged manipulation period. This description of Duncan stands in stark contrast to the robust and vivacious personality that those who worked and were close to him were familiar with. Judy's description of Omarosa has a cunning presence resembling a serpent added a sinister undertone to the story by drawing comparisons between the former White House advisor's actions and those of a crafty animal. This furthered the impression that Duncan's interests may have been put at risk. She claimed that people expect me to comment on her, but what can you really say about a snake, save the fact that it is a snake? I don't handle snakes, so I'd avoid them. Revelations painted a picture of Omarosa's priorities during Duncan's most vulnerable moments, suggesting a dubious moral compass. Duncan's niece, who chose to remain anonymous, claimed that Omarosa had repeatedly discussed the will while Duncan was unconscious, even making the shocking request for his sperm during this dire period. The reality TV stars